Welcome to another edition of the Entertainment Corner. I'm Paul Ortiz, and we're at Segerstrom Hall for the Arts in Costa Mesa, where the current production of Mary Poppins is on the stage. And with me today is Mrs. Banks, Blythe Wilson. Thanks for joining us today on the Entertainment Corner.
Thank you for
Tell us,
having
first
me.
of all, a little bit about yourself.
Well, there's a few Canadians on the tour, so I'm from Vancouver, BC, yes, and living in Toronto. But I've been with the show for about 17 months and touring all over the U.S. It's been a beautiful way to see all of the U.S.
Wow.
But we're really enjoying Costa Mesa, and we've been here for 1 week, and we've got 3 more weeks.
First time in Southern California?
This is my first time, yes. I've been in L.A.
You've chosen some beautiful weather.
We have. Oh, it's been gorgeous here. It's been lovely here, and we're staying right around the corner from the theater. So we're right downtown.
Mrs. Banks approves of the weather here?
She does. She does, yes.
She's a bit of a, I wanted to say a fuddy-duddy, but she's really obsessed with her causes and her character.
She is. She is. She's a woman sort of ahead of her time, married to Mr. Banks, and sort of gave up her career in the arts. She was an actress, gave up her career and had 2 children, and is sort of trying to fit into the role of being the mother of the household. But when Mary arrives at the house, our house is sort of in disarray and in chaos. So Mary arrives just in the nick of time to help us out.
Everybody's so familiar with the movie Mary Poppins, which was made, I believe, in 1964.
Yes.
Interesting that the 2 characters are never together in the movie. Is that the way it is on stage?
No, it's not. Actually, what they've done with the stage production is they've pulled all of the books that P.L. Travers wrote and put them all together to create the staged versions. So there will be stuff that people have seen from the movie and wonderful moments, supercalifrage we have, and playing the game and Step in Time are all part of our stage production. But there's a lot of new characters and new songs that have been added to
Speaking of Step in Time, we're on a schedule, and Mrs. Banks is very organized.
We are. I'm going to take you backstage and introduce you to a few people. We're going to meet John Furrow, who is our head of wardrobe. So I'll take you back and show you John, and he'll be able to show you some costumes.
Great. Well, let's go back there and say hello to him.
Yes. So, Paul, here we are backstage. There are 25 company members, ensemble members in Mary Poppins, but 21 perform during the show. So this backstage area is all the women's section, where all the women do their quick changes and change from scene to scene.
Great.
So I'm going to introduce you to John, who is our head of wardrobe.
Great. John Furrow. Hey, John, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Good to tell us about some of these pieces. I know they were for the period of 1900s, 1910. People wore a lot of clothes back then.
A lot of layers.
Why is that?
It was just the nature of the time. Foundations, especially for women, they had the corsets. You had to wear something under the corset to keep it clean, because you couldn't wear a new corset every day. It was just about beauty and art. It's kind of like fashion today, only it was much bigger then.
How busy are you when the show is, while they're on stage? I imagine other people are back here changing outfits, things like that.
Very, very busy. We pick up a staff of 14 local people to help us. So there are 14 people in this area, plus the 36 people that are in the show each night, constantly changing clothes. So it's a little bit of a dance back here. While you're watching the dancing on stage, there's about 36 people back here that are changing their clothes or getting ready for the next scene.
A bit of organized chaos, to say.
It is definitely organized chaos.
We have video monitors. We have 4. One to show the stage in infrared in darkness. One full color monitor. We have what's called a RoboCam, so that we can zoom in and zoom out, pan, etc. And then we have a monitor for the conductor, who is out there directing the whole thing, 2 hours and 40 minutes, making it happen as well.
That's great. So you've been with the show for how long now?
Since the beginning, since we started in Chicago.
Has the show evolved since that time, I believe in 2004?
Yeah, it has. I actually joined it in Chicago in 2007 when this tour began, but it's evolved quite a bit, even from the beginning in Chicago. It's a pretty fascinating show.
Great. Well, Mrs. Banks is on a timely schedule, so I'm going to have to let you go. We're going to catch up to her again and see the rest of the cast, and a beautiful show here in Orange County, and especially here at Segerstrom Hall for the Arts.
Well, thanks for stopping by.
You bet. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
So in the play, your husband is Mr. Banks, obviously, and that's played by Laird Mackintosh. Tell me about that character.
Mr. Banks is he's a banker, and he's trying to find his way with his family, and here he is.
Hey, looks like you're trying to find your coat too.
Yeah.
How are you?
As you can see, I've got more than one, and they all look pretty much the same, but they're actually different for different scenes.
Right. What color is that?
That would be black. Yeah. And this pretty much sums up my character right here. If his name isn't enough, Mr.
Right.
Banks.
Mr. Banks.
The first words out of my mouth in the show are precision and order.
Right.
And here's my pocket watch, which rules my life. But yeah, I would say he's a bit of a control freak.
Right.
A little bit too much, way too much. And that's part of my character's, journey in the show is that I think I'm not giving anything away by saying he regains a little bit of the sense of what's important in life.
Yeah.
And, definitely. And the story that we tell in this production is a little bit different than what people might know from the movie. Has all of the great classic songs from the film and the great storyline that people remember from the movie, the great characters, but you get a little bit more of a story about this family and a little bit more insight into this man's life as a banker, and you see a little bit more why they've gone off the rails. You find out that he's in terrible debt.
Wow.
And that's maybe like a lot of us today, struggling with that.
Sure.
Obsessed with work, workaholic, and has really lost sight of what's important. In fact, in the story, he has a line. He says, the things that really matter I lost on the way. And I think the thing is that, by the end of the story, the message for him is really, he learns that what's most important is to go and fly a kite with his kids, and to take the time to be a part of his family. And good story.
And what about your relationship with Mrs. Banks? That's kind of unique too, because she's a very unique woman, right?
She's a very unique woman. And,
has issues of
Mrs.
her
Banks
own.
is looking at me right
yes,
now.
Yes, I know. We're on a schedule too.
She's a very unique woman, not only the character, but the woman who plays Mrs. Banks. And yeah, she was an actress. And in the Edwardian area, being an actress is something pretty out there. It's pretty avant-garde, And she, I think the thing is that she really wants George to know that that was something that was important to her, but he has put it down. And yet at the same time, I think that's the thing that he really loved about her, that he fell in love with, was that she was this vivacious woman and unusual, and so
joins the suffrage movement as well, so that kind of tells you a lot about her as well.
She does in the movie. She does, and that's what people will remember from the movie. There's a bit of a different story in this.
From the book,
they made her an actress in this production.
Right.
But it's in some ways it's she's unique in both ways, and she's an unusual woman and independent and free thinking, and is a smart, clever woman, and she has way more to offer the family and the relationship that he gives her credit for. And of course, at the end of the story, he wakes up to her her value and sees her as she is.
Right, great. Well, we'll let you get to your wardrobe. I know you have some organizing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure everything's in its right order.
That's right. Well, that's not only for the show, but for my character too.
Very good.
Yeah, so.
Okay, well, I'm going to get off with Mrs. Banks again because we're on a schedule, as you know.
Yeah.
And good luck with the show.
Pleasure.
Again.
Thank
Good
you
to
very
meet
much.
You.
All the best. Well, we had a wonderful time meeting the cast. We got to meet a couple people that work behind the scenes.